Welcome to On Tour and More. My name is Buddy Pulley. You guys are probably wondering who I am. Obviously, the big announcement came out on ATY Media earlier this month that I will be covering late model content, and I'm excited because my first bit of content that I'm putting out on this platform is with this guy, Ty Fredrickson. He is the Kulwicki driver developmental program champion for 2024. That's a mouthful, dude. But I'm super excited to not only learn more about the program, but also learn more about you, Ty. Starting off, who are you? Where are you from? How'd you get started in racing?
Uh, I'm Ty Fredrickson. I'm 15 years old. I'm from Webster, Minnesota. I got into racing because I watched my dad race when I was growing up in the pits. I would always observe and watch and see how fun it was, and it also bring my family together. Like my aunts and uncles would always come to watch, and it was like our way of like a family get together. So I thought that was really cool, so I kept with it.
That's awesome. That's really cool. I relate to that a lot. Many of my family gatherings mainly happen at the racetrack as a fan, but that's amazing. What did your dad race?
He raced super late models just like I do.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Is that kind of why you gravitated towards the super route? And obviously you're
Yeah.
from the region, right?
Yeah, there's a ton of super late model racing. Half the people up here don't know what a late model stock is. So
Yeah, we were talking before we started here. I am getting into the super world, and you are more getting into the late model stock world as far as studying up on it. So that's great. The first race car you got into, that's what I want to know. Obviously your dad raced. What did he decide that, my Ty needs to get into this first?
yeah, so I think when I was either 7 or 8, maybe 6, I jumped into a quarter midget for the first time, which is like a go-kart but with a roll cage.
Yeah.
And I made a few laps, and then a few weeks later we bought one. And then like 2 years after that, we were racing maybe 5 times a year in it. And then we stepped it up to 2 full-time years and got 2 track championships.
Awesome. What track was it?
Little Elko Speedway, it's called. It's right next to the parking lot of the big racetrack, Elko Speedway.
Okay, gotcha. And where's that at exactly for the
Elko,
uninitiated?
Minnesota, which is like 10-15 minutes away from where I live.
Okay, got you. Elko, is Elko dirt track? Apologize.
It's asphalt. Did you see the ARCA finish there between
That's
Williams to Watch?
right. That's
The
right.
three
That's
wide
right.
one. That's
Okay.
that's the place.
Okay, got you. We're all learning here. Awesome. So I'm always curious to know, what are you does racing just consume everything? Being 15 years old, obviously, I'm sure you're in school, but does it consume everything around you, or do you even have time for, hobbies outside of racing?
Yeah, we work about all the time during the summer. We never take any breaks, but maybe like once every other week, me and my friends would go golfing. So that's kind of my little getaway from racing, and then we're back on it. We raced about every week in this past summer. We raced 41 times, so we definitely weren't taking breaks.
Yeah, I was looking at your schedule, like a good journalist does in 2024. I was stalking your social media pages, and your schedule looks ridiculous, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
lot of
awesome.
racing.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Obviously, you're here because you won the Quickie Driver Development Championship. Um, for the uninitiated, give us a little backstory on like what exactly the Quickie Driver Development Program is.
Yeah, so when Alan Kulwicki passed away, um, some of the who are voters now, they wanted to go help some local racers at Slinger Super Speedway, and they decided that they wanted to make a program out of it. So that guy and a bunch of his friends started up the Quickie program, and it's been I don't know how many years it's been going, but I think they're almost to the 20 years of doing it.
Hmm.
Maybe not, maybe they are. I'm not completely sure, but so it's a competition where 7 finalists are picked out of across the whole country, and they compete on track and off track community. And whoever puts up the best stats and represents Alan Kulwicki the best is the champion.
Okay, awesome. How were you selected for this? What led to them being like Ty Fredrickson, he's going to be one of our finalists?
I'm not sure, but not this year, but the year before I actually signed up for it.
Okay.
And before they picked the finalists, they picked the semifinalists. So they picked the top 15, you could call it. And I didn't even make that. So this is my second year signing up.
Okay.
And then they made a Facebook post saying the 15 finalists, which are a lot of them were for the Midwest. So that's pretty cool that they're taking a lot of notice
Yeah.
into the Midwest people. And then the top 7 came out. I got a call from Casey,
Yep.
and it's been a long journey since.
Okay, awesome. I was wondering how that kind of came about. So you got to sign up, and and you were racing at that time. What were you racing?
So not this year, but the year before, I was
Mhm.
racing Pro Late models. It
Okay.
was my first season in a full size stock car, so I didn't race that much. And
Yeah.
we raced like maybe once a month, and we raced about 8 times.
Okay.
And then
Gotcha.
this year is my first full time season in the Super Late.
Okay. Gotcha. And that was the you've raced full time in the Tundra series, and then you raced some ASA as well, right?
Yep.
Okay, gotcha, gotcha. Awesome. So obviously you mentioned there it's not only on track performance, it's a lot of off track. I was reading up on the Kulwicki, the program there, and they said, you guys are required to do some community service, and a lot of that is put into the judging of who ends up winning. What did you do for the community, and what was your program all about?
So in total, I think I raised around $33,000 for every fundraiser I did. And what I think is the biggest one was helping out a Race Worth Winning Foundation, which helps try to fight ALS. And I had 3 people who are affected by ALS come to a local race. And so the race was actually Dan Ryan Memorial Race. It's called the Thunderstruck 93, but he passed away from ALS in 2008 or 2009. And he passed away shortly before I was born. And Dan Ryan was a big figure in my dad's life, and he mentored him and helped him out around the race cars. And my dad ended up crew chiefing his son Jake. And then when he passed away, he gave my dad gave me his middle name and Patrick. So that race is super special
Oh
for my
wow.
dad. And so we wanted to do a big thing for that. So we had 3 people were affected by ALS and their family members, so roughly about 30 people. We had climate controlled VIP booths, and we had catering from one of my sponsors, Rack Shack Barbecue. And we gave tours to the people around the pits and showed them our car, our hauler, and just gave them a good night at the racetrack.
That's incredible. That's really awesome. I mean, that's a hell of a story too. I mean, that the personal touch of that is, I mean, that's what racing is all about, right there. I mean, as much as it is the on track stuff, it is very much the off track, and that kind of impact that you have, and just the awareness at such a young age. That's incredible, dude. Um, yeah. So community service. I mean that That is one of the coolest things, that I've seen out of any driver development program, that they do. What did that mean at the end of the year when, you became the champion of it? Like, that's gotta mean a lot to get that kind of recognition from the voting panel and just in general from the community.
Yeah, so I didn't get one bad thing said on Facebook. Everybody was all really happy for me. So that was a really cool deal. And I didn't know how big the program was known and until I got a call from Kenny Wallace and he wanted to do an interview with me. So that's when I knew that okay, this is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, yeah. That I mean, Kenny Wallace, he definitely pays attention. I mean, that's how I guess that's how you know you've made it in racing, right? Get a Kenny Wa
Hopefully.
Yeah, no bad things said on Facebook, and Kenny Wallace interviews you. I mean, I think you've made it, dude. Um, That's awesome. How did you find out that you were the champion?
So they were announcing it at 8 a.m. at my local time. So my dad called me or like around 7 o'clock. He's like, did anybody call you to say that you won it or anything? Because we heard that they call the drivers before it's announced to tell them. I'm like, nope. He goes, oh well, good luck. And then I was laying in my bed just looking at my phone, refreshing Facebook, and then I didn't even see it until my aunt shared it. So then I like get up, walk out to my door, and my mom was already standing there with her arms in the air, screaming, "Woo!"
That's awesome. That's awesome, dude. You're just sitting in your room, and next thing you know, you're that's cool. That's
Oh yeah.
when did they finally call you?
They didn't call me till like 10 minutes after.
Okay, gotcha. Awesome, dude. That's awesome. It's such a neat program too. I'd heard of it, but I didn't know too much about it. I started studying it up when we got this interview, and that is like I said, one of the coolest programs in racing right now, and it's really cool to see, and it says a lot about you that you were the one to win it. Um, Man, so you've been racing supers this year. It's first full-time season supers, correct?
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. What are your goals for 2025? Are you What are you going to be racing? I guess.
So I'm probably gonna run about the same schedule, do a bunch of races, try to win more of them this year. I won 10, or you could call it 12. It's however you call it, but
12.
hopefully we can try. I'm going for 24 wins this year. I'm going to try to do twice as better as I can, and I think we're going to run about the same schedule. Probably do bigger races. Try to go to some ASA Stars races and do pretty good at those. But I'm just going for more wins this year.
Absolutely. And you obviously won the Tundra Championship this year. I mean, it's a pretty stout group.
Yeah, it's only 5 races too, so you can't have a bad one. And I think our worst finish in that series was I think it was sixth, and you just gotta stay up on your game for those 5 races because you can't make any mistakes or have a mechanical failure because it will definitely take you out of the running.
Yeah, and that too speaks to you as a driver just because I feel like that is a great test of a young driver, just how they are able to keep it together and keep it consistent with how short of little stint that is. Um, so moving past 2025, you have, well, hypothetical. You have a great 2025. You win the 24 races. We'll even give you 25. What is the next step in the next couple years? What is the goal?
My goal for my overall career is to try to win a cup championship. I feel like that's every short track racer's goal. So hopefully I can do that. But in 2026, hopefully somebody from NASCAR will see me in their eye as a prospect and hopefully pick me up. But we'll just have to wait till 2026 to see what happens.
Awesome. And what do you have left in 2024?
As of races, I think we're done for the season, but I'll probably do some legend road course races because those are really fun to do, and I always enjoyed doing road course races. And I think our first race will be in February at Speed Weeks.
Okay, awesome. I gotta ask, with how the Cup schedule is now, and really the top three levels of NASCAR, how much weight have you put on? Like you said, even doing legend short track or road course races, how much weight have you put on? Trying to diversify your racing palette.
Yeah, it's always fun just to hop in a car, no matter what car it is, what type of car, if it races on dirt, asphalt, road course. It's always just fun to go in different cars and do different tracks and try to learn as much as you can because in the end it'll make you a better race car driver no matter what.
Absolutely. Well, Ty, I mean that's all I had, and I think I know that everybody here at ATYL, and especially me, we're going to be taking notice of what you're going to be doing in 2025, and definitely pay a little bit more attention to the supers just to follow you, man. Hope the ASA stars, they race down here, don't they?
Yeah, they race
Right.
all over the country.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'll see you at some ASA stars races next year, man.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, Ty. Congratulations on all your success from this year. And we'll be looking for more in 2025.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Yep.